So a story in 5 minutes reminds me of a quote from Mark Twain who said, "If I had more time, I would have written a shorter book." So we'll see if I can pull that off here. The other thing I've done for almost 10 years other than working in publishing is I've trained and taught martial arts. And the concept of Zen, specifically the concept of balance, is pretty important, and it's represented by this symbol. But this symbol is almost misleading, almost like a lot of publishing is a little misleading because it's not a static concept. It's the interplay between two forces. It's motion and balance. All of you know, though, in publishing, things happening so fast now, is there balance in publishing right now? Some people say no. Some people say that's what's missing in publishing right now. But the interesting thing about that is that you've got two workflows that are emerging, two deliverables. So how do you find balance between those two things? And some people, we all feel this imbalance to a point, both the good and the bad parts of it. Now, don't get me wrong. I love print. I have an extensive collection of leather-bound books. And I have a tremendous respect for the art of publishing a book. But at the same time, I love text as well. And I like creating pictures in my own mind when I read fiction, for example, but I don't want my orthopedic surgeon doing that with his anatomy text. So as an example, in educational publishing, we've been working in digital for a while with things like course management systems and assessment. There's also new digital texts that harken back to the print days, but they're utilizing digital in the right way, and I think that's where balance is now. Those of you who are in communication, sales, or marketing, you know these numbers. 55% of communication is visual, 38% is verbal, and only 7% is the actual words. Now, that has a pretty profound influence in how content is delivered in education. The classroom experience is visual by nature. Teachers don't write tons of text on the board. They use visual cues, they use visual content, they use labs, hands-on training. Now for me, publishing has always been a love story. I love the industry. I will probably work in it for the rest of my life. But lately it seems like more of a science fiction story. And one of the things that's important about that is some of you, now I haven't been abducted by, like Jennifer Brooke from New York Times who presented in the workshop yesterday. I haven't been abducted by aliens yet, but some of you may feel like you're being asked to take either the red pill or the blue pill when it comes to publishing. Embrace technology or hold on to the constructs of the past. But in reality, I come from Wolfram Research where we're very bleeding edge technology, and it's very easy from a tech standpoint to throw the baby out with the bathwater. That's my daughter, by the way, who's 3 now and who's too cute not to show. So what we really need is not a red pill or a blue pill. We need a purple pill from a Zen standpoint. And for those of you who know this, the purple pill, what does it do? It relieves indigestion. And I think that's a little bit of what we really have in publishing right now is a little indigestion. It's a reaction, and it's temporary. At Precision Graphics, I feel like we've come up with a little bit of a purple pill for publishing. First generation digital publishing was really a conversion process where you took print, made it convenient, added some convenience factors like navigation or document tagging, and all that is being done now. But really when you strip away the page or the book context, what have you got? You've got things like apps, but what are apps? And what do they do for you? Well, first of all, they should look beautiful. Visual is the key. And as you develop your content for this new digital publishing age, really what you're doing is taking the content development, flipping it on its head. You're no longer working towards a text end, but you're working empirically towards what's going to educate people. You're flipping it so the visual becomes key. So what do we call this? Well, it's been called a lot of different things by different parties. We call it digital developmental editing, and that's the balance that you have, where you're really making use of the technology, but you're not just doing technology for technology's sake. It's being developed with a pure model in mind. Now, I'm not saying that there's a light and a dark side in this disturbance of the force. I'm just saying there are forces that have to be balanced. And in fact, in line of a science fiction story, there are some of these things that may never align, but we still have to work within them. So I don't know, do we need like an agent molder for the XML files or something to that effect? And I think there are people doing this right now. I'd like to think that Precision Graphics is able to do some of this right now. So what you need is somebody to kind of lead the way just a little bit. So if you've got a little bit of publishing indigestion, or you're trying to find your truth in publishing, I'd love to talk to you. In Precision Graphics, we're trying to lead the way with what this really means in balance for digital publishing. Thank you.